Can you guys hear me?
Now we're muted.
Hi, Norma.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. Do we have any guests, Shelby?
Not on Zoom.
Not on Zoom? Okay. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and Norma, are you able to put on your video conference so we can see you, so we can swear you in?
Yes.
There you are. All right. Right hand up, girly. There you go. All right, repeat after me. I, Norma Ayala. Can you hear me okay?
She's muted. You need to unmute yourself, Norma.
Oh, my bad. I, Norma Ayala. Sorry, I'm so tired.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and will faithfully and honorably perform
and will faithfully and honorably perform
the duties of director
the duties of director
in and for the county of state aforesaid,
in and for the county and state as aforesaid,
to which I have been appointed,
to which I have been appointed,
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
All right, so thank you. You do have a certificate
Amen.
here that we need you to sign when you can. So if you're able to
Okay.
come see Shelby tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, I can go tomorrow.
Okay, all right, thank you. Shelby,
Okay,
I'll just
thank you.
back to you. And have you, and then just bring it back to me
Yep.
when she signs it. All righty, David.
You know, you can do those all together.
What?
You can do them all together at once.
They have to speak together. They can?
Mhm.
Oh.
It's up to you. You're
Do you
in
want to
charge.
go together?
You're in charge, you can do
Do
whatever.
what you want.
That's
Do
right.
you
Do what you want.
feel as though you would like to speak individually, John? Do
No,
you
I
feel
don't care.
that you need to be special?
Nope, I'm
Okay.
good.
All right, David Bohr and John Christie. Just mix that up. Repeat after me with your hands up, please. Thank you. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the Constitution of the State of Oregon
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof.
and I will faithfully and honorably perform the duties of director
I will faithfully and honorably perform the duties of the Director of Law
in and for the county and state aforesaid,
in and for the county, what was the last
and
part?
state
And state,
aforesaid,
after said,
Whatever.
to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability. So help me God.
We're gonna
I
have to
already
get you a
done
beer
this
next
once.
time.
Oh,
I did it when I first got appointed. I shouldn't have to do it again.
Well,
Did
you have to because you were elected in this time, the first time you
So
were
when he
appointed.
gets elected,
Yep.
Yep, every time.
every time you get elected, you gotta do it?
Yep, because it's a new term.
How about that?
So you need
forgot what you
to
swore about.
sign
There.
where
Yeah,
it
sign
where
right
it
about
says
there.
district
How's it going, George?
All
officer.
right, how are you?
Or officer,
Alright.
nope, up, yep,
There you
right
go.
there.
Anything new exciting?
Oh, always.
All right, and then you are gonna keep your certificate, there's
Always
the
new stuff.
budget, and then
Always,
here's the
always,
official
no,
guide.
same
Thank
old
you.
always.
Got another one of those?
I do have another one. Do you need
Gee,
one?
that, I'd like to get one.
Here, I'll give you Norma's, because I have more in my office.
When you kidding?
Oh, Kristen needs to sign
Oh, I
that
see,
one.
yeah. Yes. Good stuff.
You're better and better.
There we go. All right. So Shelby has on here board member orientation. I think that was that just where I wanted to talk about our expectations. So, you know, the people that I came on the board with were very goal oriented with the community. And I just want you to know that I'm not necessarily a forward thinker. So that's why I rely on everybody else's opinion to be spoken. And then a lot of times, you know, he glares at me and then I realize, you know, what you're saying and, or maybe a different point of view, right? Where I get tunnel vision. I get tunnel vision. And so, and think of it, you know, only my way. So please feel free to always speak up and speak your opinion and to voice that, and to remember that we're here for the community and not for any particular personal gain, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And ultimately, my primary goal would be to see the park itself grow. The park expansion to me would be a really big and neat thing to have happen, since we're bringing in so much money and people come here and we're booked, right? Booked solid for
Every single night.
every single night. So it would be so neat, and you know, they're constantly turning people away, and it'd be neat to be able to have that park expansion in place so that we could take on more people. Did you guys want to tell it all about anything? I feel like we do need to get do a walkthrough of the park facility, and to have Ted show us all the little ins and outs of what he deals with the park and the rec center, and in case anybody hasn't already been around the rec center. But it'd be interesting to go in the parts, if you haven't already been in the parts of the rec center that you're not allowed to go in. It would be neat to show you around those parts as well. So if you guys, I know it's hard probably going back to school soon.
Not me, not till the 24th.
Okay.
He's got to report next week.
Yeah, so, you know, maybe one of these nights, when we have a meeting, whether it's, what are we in, July? So whether it's August or September, you know, maybe we could take August and do, you know, a half-hour little jaunt around the rec center, and then September we'll do a, you know, half-hour, 45-minute jaunt around the park, just so that we divide it up a little bit and cover those grounds. And I know it's interesting when Ted talks about taking out trees or tree maintenance, and it's kind of interesting to know where those are, what he's talking about. So I think we really should probably do that. One other thing I know that is important is, especially with would be Norma and John, that are, I was told when I came on that the board members' children need to have approval to work at the park. So if your children would like to be hired on in the future, just make sure they come talk to the board and introduce themselves and let us know who they are, and we all kind of look at them and say, great. But I think we have to have board approval in order for our children to work for the park. At least my child, I was told that, and so I think we need to keep that going probably. Did John and Norma, do you guys have any questions at all about the meetings, the procedures, anything that you wanted to add in? Norma, are you driving?
No, I'm writing. My
Oh,
hands are, they're
Okay.
just driving.
Okay. All right. Did you guys have any comments? Did you have any questions about our meetings in general yet? No?
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
All right. Norma?
I just want more. I think I need a couple more meetings to really understand what we do and why we're here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Shelby, did the new board members get the packets?
The board packets,
Yeah.
yes, I emailed them. I
Okay.
just gave John his copy.
Okay.
Norma, I will make sure you have a hard copy with you when you come to pick up your stuff tomorrow, so you can breeze through that.
Okay.
One thing there's little sticky notes that are on the new employee or new board members packets, but I wanted everybody to get this. This is the training that's coming up in August at the port. It's for the board members and management. I just need to know who wants to attend. It's put on by SDAO, and it'd be a
What
good
day is it?
idea. It's the 18th.
What's the time for it?
It's 8:30 to 4, so it runs all day. They do have a virtual option, either on August 31st or September 2nd.
I will
So-
be there.
So there's that.
Shelby,
You wanna
you're
pass
you
these
looking for a
around?
head count for both
Yes.
board and managers?
Yeah,
Are you
Okay.
gonna enroll us? or
Yes.
do we
The-
need to do
yeah,
it?
I will go ahead and roll.
What time again? I'm
It's
sorry.
8:30 to 4.
Oh, you mean during the day?
Yes,
Oh.
it's all day long.
Will you enroll me, please?
Yep.
Put me down for that too, Shelby, please.
You both want the in-person ones?
I would like that.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So the virtual options are gonna be all day as well? How long is that session? I
I'm
wonder?
assuming they'll probably be all day as well. David, you want the in-person?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see now while I hear.
Shelby, what was the
Yes.
date on that again?
It's the 18th.
Of
There's a
August?
flyer going, there's a flyer right there on it.
Thank you.
I think this is eligible for us to get 2% off on
Yes.
Mhm.
our,
Yep.
yeah.
I will not be able to do it on the 18th. I'm already at training that day,
Okay.
but I will see if I can get time for the 31st or the 2nd to do it virtually.
Okay.
I'm thinking I'll have to do virtual as well.
I'm gonna have to do virtual as well.
I will get those. I will get the in-persons registered tomorrow, and then you guys just let me know which virtual date works for you. And I can also send you the links for those as well.
The SDA Academy, you know anything about that much?
So that one, the academy is a conglomeration of a bunch of different classes that you can take.
Uh-huh.
And it's whenever you get the chance to sign up for them. I do have a flyer somewhere. I'll have to look in my
Okay,
office
'cause
again.
I know that as I talk to other people and they do these type of meetings, I'm learning that there's a few things we're not doing right,
Yeah.
according to them. So I think that'd be a good course for me. to
Which one?
Understand the public meetings and public records, not so much record parts, the public meeting stuff. Like our emails and stuff, that's considered public meetings as well, and stuff, so.
Are these covered under this session then?
It didn't give an agenda as to what exactly it was going to cover. So I will see if I can track one down.
Group emails. When you have more than 2 board members, it's a public meeting.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Well, it depends on how big your board is.
Okay, if you have,
Yeah,
for
if
us,
you
you
have a-
have
you have a
5, you
quorum.
can't have more than
Yeah.
2.
If there's 7, then you have more.
The way around that is you email individually and ask a question.
Correct.
So I agree with George. I mean, it might be worth taking the day off if I could get all the information in the SDAO Academy. So, but I'm curious what the agenda is.
I'll see if I can track one down.
Yeah, if it's all covered in that 1-day session, then I would like to,
I don't know if it will be because it's normally 20 some odd classes that they go through.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that, all the things that are listed there for the academy. I agree.
The one I went to 2 years ago down in Seaside. They basically, they have different sessions every hour and a half and there are 6 different things you can go to.
They're at the
So what we
conference.
did with the fire department, Ken went to one, I went to another, so we kind of tried to get everything as much as we could.
That's what Ted and I do too.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will be set up the same way. There's not as much room down there can they divide that big room up?
No, that one's just for, it's not the same as a conference. It's
Okay.
just one big class. that lasts.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
everybody will be in the main. room
Yeah,
down
they'll be-
they're only allowing 50 people to register and they're at 36.
For this one,
Mhm.
As my understanding, they're doing like regional ones, they're just, that's kind of the one for Eastern Oregon.
Yeah, this is the regional.
if they don't have an agenda yet, sign me up for the virtual on August 31st. If they do have an agenda, send it to me real quick and I'll let you know whether I can. So,
You go to the ORPA conference and you're looking at 500 people.
did everybody read through the board minutes? Anybody have any comments on those?
Just on the goose action, Ted, what'd they end up?
They did.
Okay,
Yeah, they came early in the morning, I think around 5, and then we're able to round them up and remove them all that were here. There are still some hanging around, but not that many. So. The park's looking a lot better, let's put it that way.
yes, it is.
Do I have a motion to, on the minutes? Did you guys have any more questions on this?
We'll move that we accept the minutes as they are.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right,
All opposed?
I should have been in favor.
Norma,
Yes,
were you able to hear us? We made a motion, or George made a motion to approve the minutes?
yeah, and Boar seconded.
Yes. And
Yes.
I called, are you a yay or a nay?
Oh, yay, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
Yep.
she'll be,
Treasurer's reports is the first page that's up.
Thank you for page numbers on there.
You're welcome. I almost forgot last minute. I remembered this time. Okay, so as of July 21, the pool banner bank account was 67,953.77. The park was 69,801.15. Our Bank of Eastern Oregon loan is not due until 1/3 of 21, or that should be 1/1 of 22. And we have, so on the boat dock loan, we have made a partial payment total of $10,889.38. We still have $1,608.64 due for this year's payment. We're still waiting on $1,200 on an annual mortgage that's still outstanding. And we have currently rented out $438.26 worth of daily slips this month so far.
So once you get 1,200, you'll have it covered.
Yep.
Sweet. Nice.
The next payment on the GEO bond is not due until 12/15 of 21. And then we have budgeted 40,000 to go to the general, or from the general to the equipment reserve for this fiscal year that we have not done yet, and 100,000 to go to the park expansion, which we have not done yet. Any questions?
so all the stuff, all the, I didn't bring my minutes or my treasury report from last month. So all of the transfers we had for last year have all been.
They've all
made.
been
So
done,
the only
yep.
thing we're looking at now is our new year.
Correct. Yep, so the balances that are there for the reserves include the transfers.
Okay.
The next page is the GEO bond amortization schedule. Next payment is just an interest only. It's $269,068.75. Due 12/15. The next page after that is the boat dock loan amortization schedule, which I explained the little notes down at the bottom already on the treasury report. So, any questions on that one? Next page is the Bank of EO loan, the amortization schedule for that. Next payment is due on 1/1/22 for $120,860.37. It's about halfway through.
So, so John and Norma, and I'm assuming Dave, I don't know if David knew that. Do you know why we took out the Bank of VO loan? It was to cover the extra costs to build the rec center. And for, was it for O&M as well?
Yes, it was for all. of them.
We were short. So this is what this is for. We're paying it back. I think, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 years to go.
Yep. So the first page up is the statement of revenues and expenditures for the park. We had total revenue of $97,393.25 for June. Total expenditures was, this is gonna be a little deceiving, $135,703. Now this includes the $60,000 in transfers out of the general to the reserve accounts. So when you take that out, we actually don't have a loss.
Speak those words over.
From the expenditures at the very bottom, it
Mhm.
shows transfers out of general, 60,000.
Mhm.
That's the budgeted
Oh,
amounts
gotcha.
that go to the equipment and the expansion.
Okay.
So when you have that in there, it looks like we had a loss for June, when we in reality don't.
About 4,000 positive. Looks like.
Any other questions on that one before we move on? The next page is the balance sheet for the park. Now you will see on here that we do have accounts receivable of 87,476.17. And accounts payable shows 11,392.47. This is because we're on the very end of our fiscal year, so we have to accrue everything into that. And even though these payables have been paid, it still shows on here for the end of the fiscal year. The next pages after that are the aged receivables that show on your balance sheet, as well as the aged payables. Are there any questions? I know it's kind of confusing for this month.
Why is BCDA past due by 90 days?
Because they haven't given us the reimbursement for the disc golf course.
Have we reminded them?
Mhm.
Do we have an invoice for them?
I've sent an invoice to Tori a couple different times, and she said, every time she says, okay, I'll take it to the meeting. So.
City of Boardman's just your monthly contract.
Correct.
What's Morrow County?
Morrow County, that is the property taxes that we get in every month.
Mhm.
At the very end of the fiscal year, the amount that's due for June has to go into our receivables, even though we don't get it until July. So, which the tribal finally paid. They're fully caught up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the only thing that's on here that's actually outstanding as of today is the boat dock loan and BCDA.
So just keep them in here.
But
them
keep
in
bugging
your-
them.
Yeah, just
Yep.
send an invoice every month and.
Yep.
see what happens.
So the next one that you'll see after that is your payables. These are all of the bills that come in the month after that actually go for the previous month. Okay, the next one is the budget to actual for our full fiscal year 2020-2021. We had total actual revenue or total resources of $1,211,944.60. Total actual requirements that we spent was $865,025.60. Which gives us an actual profit of $346,919. Next report after that is the bank account activity for the park. Any questions on that one?
Inland plumbing was Ted still for the bathrooms? What was the inland plumbing for? remember that.
They've come out a couple times.
How much was that?
16,000.
Yeah, that was for the hot water.
Hot water heaters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remind me there, because they'll probably see it on the next one. There was a doozy one that we just signed. That was for the,
Work comp insurance.
yeah. Holy
Annual
smokes.
work comp insurance.
We pay we pay annually once a year. No prepay, apparently. It's like 10,000. Out of one and what, six? out of
6
the
or
other?
7 out of the other. Yeah.
Doozy.
Gee.
I don't know. Oh, it looks like, let's see. All right.
When was the last time we had an injury on the job here? Ted?
There hasn't been one
Scott?
since I've been here.
None this year.
Well, none that have been reported,
Yeah,
I should say.
yeah, I don't know. It's been a couple of years. But mostly they're fairly minor. I know Gino fell out of a rig, and hit his head, and sent the emergency.
Okay.
It was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So the next report is our camping stats, which is on the cash basis. First section up top. Total for June cash that we brought in was $29,639. So total cash that we brought in just in camping fees for last fiscal year was $540,710.
That's great.
Holy
100,000
smokes.
more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely needed that expansion, huh?
Yes.
Mhm.
How soon?
Well, and
Go
some of
up
that's because
with
you
the
raised the
increase
rates,
of
right?
fees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
some
then
of
we
it is
only had,
because
what,
we increased
six
fees, but-
months of that.
So down the second one then is where what are we on?
So the second one is our total camping sites rented for the month. So we had 1,742 camping sites rented for the month.
Just about 500 more for the year.
But the total is highest in any year.
Yeah.
Mhm. 2015,
Oh,
Yeah,
I
look
think we had
at,
a lot
look
of
at the price.
construction that
Yeah,
year.
look at the price difference there.
Yeah,
Well, if you look at the cash in December versus what it was 2 years ago,
mhm.
I mean, that's another $40,000 just there.
Bring in 40,000 when COVID was.
Everybody was booking for this year.
Oh, duh.
They were
Yeah.
tired
I was
of it.
thinking just the opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know I was in those woods last year
Right.
like crazy.
All right. Camping sites rented by type, so.
Yep.
tents,
So we had
overflow.
37 or 11 tents, 37 overflow, and 1,694 were campers staying in the campground.
Nice, all right. All right, cool.
So first one up for the pool is the statement of revenues and expenditures for June. Total revenue was 71,564.53. Total expenditures for that month was 97,273.41. So we had a loss of 25,708.88.
But we have 13,000 in program expenses in there.
Yes.
That'll.
Yeah, summer recreation was at 16,000 just in payroll. And that will get offset with the school
Yeah.
district. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott, what are we on the, with the pool covers? Are we starting to see, will we see the biggest savings in the winter? Or are we starting to see what are we saving a month?
actually, I probably need to break that out. I will do that.
You could do that for next,
Yeah.
I just get it, and I know I just want to know when we're gonna be, make up for what we put into it
I predict we will,
in a year,
in a year's
6 months.
time. I mean, yes.
Okay.
So,
which is a good decision, long term.
Making notes. So I remember. The next one is the balance sheet. So we have accounts receivable of 32,274.40. Accounts payable of 25,533.68. Again, you'll have reports breaking that out immediately following. On the receivables, the only ones that are still outstanding are Helix, Ione, all of the Morrow County School District ones. And that's it.
What's Hermiston Park? Oh, Park.
Hermiston Parks, that we trained some of their lifeguards.
Nice. $2,000.
Mhm.
That's decent.
Yeah, it's,
And then all of the payables have been paid that are on this too.
Rural County School Districts paid, you said, or didn't?
They have not. They have not. We will bill them at the end of this month for all of the program,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah, swim lessons are open until August 12th. and-
except for that. Yeah.
And who did the busing? School district?
Yep, they're covering that as well.
Actually, they're going to Silverwood tomorrow, 2 full buses,
Nice.
65 people.
Oh, nice.
So, but school district's covering it.
Nice. That's great.
Not a gift to get up, that morning to take your kid there,
Right.
and at night,
What time they leave?
5:30, and then they come back at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I can walk on.
I have
Yes.
enough, I have enough adults on this time that I don't have to go, so this is great.
Today was the day we're gonna make you a young lady. Here's the key.
The next report is the budget comparison for the full fiscal year for the pool. Total resources was 967,881.57. Total requirements was $805,630.54.
Is that right? Really?
It's because of the COVID money.
Wow. Thank God for COVID money.
Yeah.
Yes.
We made a profit on a pool. I didn't think we could do that.
Somebody better write down the year.
Can you put that in the newspaper?
You won't see that again.
No, not with a pool.
Hope it helped out a little bit with that.
It did help. Yep. The next report up is
I know,
the
right?
cash
That's what
account, cash account activity for the pool. Are there any questions on that one?
What's the 5,009 for that we transferred? On 6/2.
Payroll. It's to cover the pool's portion of the federal taxes and state taxes and retirements.
We ask you that every single time.
Got another one again later on the 16th.
Yep.
That's the
Same
second,
thing.
every 2 months, every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, the only time that you'll have more than 2 transfers is once a quarter. We have to pay our quarterly taxes for transit and the work comp and SUDA. And then we have to transfer that. So there'll be a third transfer once a quarter.
What are we looking at in scans here?
So the first page is last fiscal year for the whole year for 2020 and 2021. And then the second page is where we're at currently this month.
Your numbers have gone up, thank goodness.
I'm not gonna lie, when I see this page, it makes me want to go blind. I don't get it.
You know,
No,
It's the number of, every time a person goes into the rec center, they have to scan their card.
no, I get that.
so you got July, and this is the date, and this is by day of the week.
Oh, no wonder they're off. Okay,
Okay,
you came up with that, didn't you? Because you wanted to know what days the first fell on every month, right?
sure.
I don't know. I just continued it the way it was
Yeah,
set
that
up.
was already done.
So where are the totals for the month then?
The
Down
very bottom,
Oh,
So-
so like June was 3,687
Yep.
yes.
average median, okay.
And I do want to say that these aren't 100% accurate. There's probably more than this. It's just that with our internet and phone lines, sometimes it goes out, we don't even know about it. And so until, 5 o'clock in the morning, but it won't always take scans.
Scans.
If it's out,
Sure.
it won't take a scan.
Right.
So.
And that's all I have for you. For now.
What's the second page for?
That's
Oh,
just this
attendance
month.
Statistics.
Same,
Oh,
it's the same
That's
thing.
so far this month.
'cause you're starting the new year. Gotcha, all right. What are we looking at here? What's this thing?
That's a different subject.
Okay,
That was the end of the financials.
all right. Do we have a motion to approve the financials?
I move that we approve the financials as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Same sign, no, okay. Passed, old business, phone and internet.
One thing I will mention before we move on, auditors will be here the week of August 10th.
Lucky you.
Right? We're getting ready.
You want your drink in the morning? Or
I might want more.
And a mid one and a new one?
Yeah. No, they've been really good. They.
So
sent
August
me a
11th
list.
is your holiday day?
Yeah, we'll have the whole week.
Well, they're gonna be gone by the 12th, so.
All right, do we have an update on phones?
Yes,
We do,
so-
okay.
The next pages in your packet there's a whole bunch of them. We did get some quotes from LS Networks and from Windwave. There are 3 options that were given to us. LS Networks gave us 2 options. And go back a little bit, there's a map, looks like this. They have fiber, so the rec center's here. They were talking about option 1, connecting here and then going all the way down Columbia and then across and under the railroad tracks into us as option 1. Yes. Or going clear from Chevron all the way down and then under the railroad tracks and across to us as option 2. Option 1 is 80,000. Option 2 is 150. That's from LS Networks. Windwave came in and they have fiber right here at this Y. And to trench, to go from here to the Y, and then from the bottom of the hill at the rec center up to the rec center, it's only 35,000
For both places.
for both total, both places. And that's the one that
It's
says
just a
inland.
tough decision.
I'm really having a hard time.
Yeah, the one that says inland is the one from Windwave. So that's in your packets.
Our campers, forgive me, the campers would or wouldn't have better service then?
They would, because,
With the
once-
fiber, they would even.
yes.
Okay.
Because once what we get in here, we immediately bounce it over there and then out to the campers. When we don't have much service coming in here, that means we don't have much to bounce out to them.
I mean, we can dig.
Yeah,
Well,
how's that gonna work?
we'll have to do it.
Say sorry.
Yeah, we can do that too.
How do you be done?
It's getting so bad. We just
2
use cell
minutes.
phones, make calls now.
Yes.
Everything drops in 2-3 minutes on a phone call all the time.
But we could approve it and at least get the rec center
Oh,
hooked
yeah.
up, couldn't we?
That's the easy one. It's just right up the
And
street.
then, once we get the approval here, we could put it in here.
Right.
Do we need to make a motion on that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, because.
I so
it's-
move that we do this with
More
the,
specific.
the inland option. That's specific enough.
So then what, well, so what are the, what's the 36-month term pricing, blah, 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 that's all
So-
in there?
Those are the different prices for the different speeds that we can get. They have 50 meg speed at, it'd be a 3-year contract that we'd be locked into for $175 a month, and that's per location. Or we can do 100 meg speed for $275 a month.
What are we at now?
Yeah, I mean, what would they?
25.
25 megs.
Oh, wow.
On a good
And
day.
that's on a good day.
So what's like Century Tel at home, like to the other people in this area? Does
20
anybody-
megs, and
Yeah.
that's
Negative
on a
15.
good day. And that's on a good day. And CenturyLink we can get down here, but they
No.
cannot get it at the rec center.
You don't want that.
No,
Yeah,
I
they're
know.
bad.
They're really bad.
And their customer service is even worse.
John, what are you getting at your house? Do you know?
You got PDF file.
Yeah, I got the,
PDT fast.
yeah, PD, yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really fast.
How-
Yeah, it's like 80 or something like that. I've never had an issue.
Have we ever contacted them?
We have, and so the only thing that they do right now is residential.
Yeah. They don't have any.
I think they gotta have, you gotta have the
Even
fiber
more.
optic
Yes.
anyways, don't
Yeah,
you?
you do.
Mhm.
The way I understand it, you gotta have the fiber optic to come through, so if we got Windwave to put the fiber optic in and wanted to go PDF fast at some point,
Yes.
but Windwave and PDF fast, I think are like, they would,
They do. They work
Population.
together.
Can I ask how far are we from the thinking about or possibly able to do an expansion? Are we a couple years away? Are we?
Oh, for campground expansion?
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. I gave the Corps all the information over a decade ago.
Okay,
But I am meeting with them tomorrow, and I'm gonna really press them on it.
Okay.
And also, you know, in Congress are going to do that infrastructure bill. I'm gonna see about them putting money in for expanding as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we short on the amount of money we need? From the original project? How much was that original project?
Well, the original is about 2 million. And I imagine quite a bit more, but, you know, the Corps, I don't know, federal government, they're really funny about stuff, you know, and they don't try, I don't think they try very hard on it, on a lot of things. But I mean, if there's a good infrastructure bill, and this is in it, you know, there's a good chance. You know, they could pay for most of it. And if we have money to incentivize them with it, I think that will help a lot. You know, and I think we could get, how much is the state parks grant?
Million,
$1 million.
and we've
Plus-
given out 2 of those in the last 2 years, so it happens.
And we could have at least $500,000, possibly more. So that's a lot of incentive to do that.
to answer your question, it's gonna go on that side between,
Well, there's two different,
Yeah, you have this one and that.
yeah,
Oh, right.
back here
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
group,
camp down
yeah,
there.
group camping back there.
Well, the reason why I asked that question was as I'm thinking about, like, even the small thing is like internet per, you know, how much internet you need. If you weren't thinking long-term, you're thinking, I need to have a little bit more because if I'm expanding, I need to be able to push that
Right.
internet out where I'm not all of a sudden having them have, you know, redo a contract that I already have.
Right.
I'm just thinking that way.
Surely they'd let us increase,
Oh, sure.
probably just not decrease,
Yeah,
right? Within our 3-year term.
yeah, I don't see why we
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
well, I would lean on 100. Because every year, why people using our internet, because the way technology evolves, it takes more and more. What you could do today, you couldn't do 10 years ago.
Right.
Because it just takes more
It's just gonna get more and
So are
more.
your phones are on? Who?
The Eastern
Correct, cell
Oregon.
phones?
Yeah, so it says right here, inland switch included with installation. So then our service would then be through inland?
For internet only.
Yes,
Okay.
we'd have to go with it, a different phone system, but what we have is horrible. So we need to, but why do that until we get this fiber
Yeah.
optic line in? It doesn't make sense.
We'd have more options then for
Yes,
phone if we
yes.
have it. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
'Cause I received numerous complaints again
Yeah.
Yeah.
about the phone system and trying to just be able to get calls through.
Mhm.
I know.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Ted, how long is the lease left for the core? How many more years?
I think we have 4 more years on it.
How many?
4,
Or,
Okay,
yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're going to renew it like they normally do.
it's just something I think we should have in our mind. It might cause a work session down the road a ways, but state parks, they will give as much as $1 million, but you have to have a minimum of a 25-year lease, right? Or ownership. So there's gonna be a window of 1 year. The way I look at it, if we get the new release or lease renewed, be able to apply for that, we should be ready to do that. If that happens, I'm just throwing that out. Does that make sense?
mhm.
So where would this money come out of the budget?
It would come out of our capital outlay.
Yeah, we've been saving for the
Yeah.
park expansion reserve, and we'll have over 400,000 by the end of this fiscal year.
Are you talking about park expansion or this bill?
This.
This bill?
Yeah,
Oh,
no, this is budgeted in the capital outlay category.
We're not locked into anything with the other company, correct?
No,
It's
we are
not like we're
not.
being penalized for dropping them.
No. Nope, I called EOT today. I've been trying to get a hold of them for 2 weeks. And finally got through to somebody. We have no contract whatsoever with them, with either location, so there's no penalties whatsoever if we drop.
We have, do we have a detailed motion on the floor?
I just said we accept the inland
In the amount of, how much is this?
35. change.
Approximately 35, okay.
What do we pay right now for the internet?
Roughly $450 a month per location
So we're
Per
gonna save money.
location?
with
Yeah.
internet and phone, yes. Yes. For really,
Ouch.
really bad service.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's crappy service too.
Yeah. we get yelled at every day.
I will second Joe's motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Norma,
Hi.
so, were you able to hear what they were talking about? Because I don't know if you had the bid in front of you. Probably not.
Yes, I have the phone in front of me. Yeah, the phone systems and all that.
Yeah, okay. Are you opposed or in favor?
No, I'm in favor.
Perfect. So there are no opposing on that. Passed. So we technically, we moved to accept it and go forth with it, correct?
Yep, and then, we know that Ted's gotta get the approval from the section here, but once he gets that, he can get going. He's got our blessing.
Okay.
Which
Fantastic.
is not as big an issue down here because we're online registration, correct?
Yeah, well,
I mean, it is an issue, but it's much more of an issue at the rec center.
I don't know about that. We received and made over 600 phone calls, I believe, in June. So,
Mhm.
normally before the online, it was like 900 to 1,000 phone calls a month.
So
But
it-
it's still a lot.
Yeah.
But most of the phone calls aren't for I don't think are for reservations, or more for asking about the reservation they did make.
Yeah,
Okay.
or calling to cancel or something like
Yeah.
that, because they can't cancel online. They have to call or email us to do that.
So,
It is an issue.
so for, I didn't know if John or Norma knew, but our park itself is on a lease with the Corps that Ted just said is due to expire in 4 years.
Mhm.
And then the rec center itself is on fee title ownership, so we do own that property in that building, obviously. I was gonna ask you, so explain to me, because it seems like every year, we always get questions about why, why our park does the interesting reservation setup where you have to either mail in or can't make reservations on, until that July or January 1 date. So tell me why and why that's a procedure for us.
Well,
Is it to keep people from like constantly booking for 5 years in a row in the same dates? or-
no, I mean, the reason we don't book up for more than 1 year at a time is because of that. People will forget, and all that, but, and that's not really an issue. But on December 1st, we received letters, we asked for letters for reservations. We just call it our pre-registration period. Okay, it's for people that are on the ball, they want to make a reservation for the upcoming year. They can write us a letter and for making reservations for the upcoming year. And part of the reason for that is when we first started that, we would take phone calls starting like first working day in January. Our phone system would pretty much crash because we would get hundreds of calls. You put your phone down and ring just like that. We just didn't have time. So we thought, let's do a pre-registration by people can write letters to us and we can eliminate a lot of those phone calls. Okay, and it has worked very well. And even now with the online reservations, I'm pretty sure the computer system is gonna crash, if we did not do that. When you get 1,000 people trying to call, all at once on January, or trying to make reservations on January 1st online, it's not gonna handle it. So,
You should.
well, it should, but it's gonna be very frustrating to people, and then we're starting to get the calls, But the letters work fine, and people aren't complaining about that, at least not to me, and people actually appreciate being able to, to be able to do that, so.
How do you decide then? Is it based on, if you get two, I know that would be weird, but if you get two, reservations for the same
Site.
sites, like if, you had two family reservations at one of the same sites that came in on the same day, how do you decide that?
Well, whose ever letter we open first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You literally put them in the system as you open them.
right,
Gotcha.
right.
Gotcha.
So, and it works fine. It's just, I don't think there's any complaints that I know of, unless you guys, you get any complaints, so.
The only complaints I get are the fact that they can't reserve it until then. They want to start getting, their family reunions in order a year ahead of time, and they can't do that
Right.
until.
Well,
That's
when
pretty
we,
standard though, isn't it, for most places?
Mostly 9 months is a
Yeah.
typical amount
Yeah,
of
state
time.
parks is 9
Yeah.
months ahead of time.
yeah, so we decided January 1st, you can make reservations for that year. Okay, up through, the end of October, and then between November, December, you don't need a reservation, so. It's worked out fine. I mean, this year, how many letters did we receive? 300?
It was a bunch.
Yeah, 300 letters, and many of them have multiple reservations throughout the summer, for multiple dates, multiple sites. We took in, how much money did we take in December?
135,000.
Yeah, just for a month, and that's from letters. So, and that, for us, it gives us time. We've got all the month of December to start, to do all those. And, it makes it a lot easier than trying to deal with everything on January 1st.
Okay,
So on January 1st, you've already booked up.
Yeah, well, we booked up a lot, but
Yeah.
the only sites that are, dates that are really full are 4th of July and possibly Memorial
Mhm.
Weekend. And that's it. The rest of them, there's everything available. So,
before we go to the resolution, does, I guess we talked before you walked in the door and Norma got online, but I was curious if Norma and George have any opposition to moving our monthly meetings to 6 PM instead of 7.
I think 6 PM is a good time.
I'm good.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Do we have to have a motion for that, or can we just decide? We have to have a motion?
I think you should make a motion for it.
Can I
Move.
move? I so move. I would like to have our meeting start at 6 PM.
Then I'll second you.
Thank you.
Will that begin in August?
Yes, please. Thank you for reminding me of the start date.
Need to have a vote.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. that's
All in
my-
favor? I know.
Aye.
Not that far. All opposed. All right, resolution 2021-05. We are needing to add John and Norma to the bank signing, and you will need to go in once we give this to them. You'll need to go in and, will they give them a call? Or do you give them a call and let them know when to go
They
in?
normally call me and let me know that it's done, and
Okay.
then I'll email you guys.
Okay,
And let you know.
But all of us have to go sign, right?
Yeah, they have been letting people go through the drive-through, so you don't actually have to go into the bank.
yeah.
Can't give them a hard time if you don't go in.
So do I have a resolution on the 2000, or I mean, God, I can't even think. Do I have a motion, sorry, to accept the resolution?
I move we accept resolution 2021-005 as presented.
Do you have a second?
Well, I second, thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Sign, all right.
Okay. Everybody's got to sign it.
Yeah. All right, and then I did speak to, I bypassed Boardman, and I think I may start bypassing Boardman management when it comes to our accounts. Is this a button back? I guess I didn't see that. Hold on just a second here. We have 2 maps?
Yes, sorry, that one is, the one that's on the back of inland is, it's not colored, but it just shows that they have fiber down here at the
For some
Y.
reason I ended up with 2 inland bills, but that's okay. We're good.
You do.
Yeah, you did, sorry.
Oh,
It was my
okay.
mistake.
So. You must be attached to the back of our. You must have sent yours out and it's attached to the back of our board thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So prior to. So we were, John and Norma, we were a little concerned because we have wire transfers that go out twice a year, fairly large wire transfers. And every other time we've ever gone into wire money, the manager at Banner Bank has known that it's our policy to have 2 signatures. We know it's our policy to have 2 signatures. Lynn's letter, I believe Shelby's letter followed suit and said in the instruction letter that 2 of our board members needed to sign the wire transfer. Ted goes in there, he signs it, and they wired out $400 and something thousand. And I come along afterward and I'm like, what in the heck are you people doing? Because, you know, that's scary that one person alone can go in there and and just take money out of a public account. So I talked to Karen Davis I bypassed Boardman. I called Boardman. I asked them very nicely why on God's earth that wouldn't have been caught. And she told us it's not something that they could take on liability for basically watchdogging us. And that I also asked her at the time what we could do about the fact that when you get signed on with that resolution, you will notice that if you're with Banner, obviously, if you're not with Banner, you're
No,
not gonna
yeah,
get
if
it.
you personally bank with
If you
Banner,
can't, yeah, personally bank with Banner, you will get the Parks account will pop up on your personal banking. Super scary,
yeah,
but
you have to call them and request that it be
Well, we
removed from
won't
your
be.
personal online.
we won't be. They're gonna automatically remove it. So I talked to,
Okay.
yeah, so that's what irritated me was that Boardman, and I think it's just lack of experience, but she told me there's nothing I can do about that. Everybody has that. And so I called Karen at Hermiston, and Karen Davis said, no, I sit on a board too. And I got that taken care of. So yes, we can remove the Parks accounts from our individual banking, including Ted, including Scott. She just needs that resolution.
Mhm.
And she said as soon as she gets the resolution, she will then take the account off of all of our personal banking that's
Okay.
related to those signers. And then I'm gonna give you her name and her phone number and her
Okay.
email address, because I think I told her, I said, we'll probably make you our primary point of contact
Mhm.
instead of going through Boardman. It's nothing against them, they just don't have the experience
Right.
in the industry.
Mhm.
And I shouldn't, none of us, we should never get no, sorry, you're not gonna help us out. Karen did say that for the wire transfers that what she can do is make a notation on our account that the money's coming out of that says that, two signatures are required. And I did remind her, I said Shelby's letter was very specific. It said we had to have 2 signers. She even mentioned to the girl, all the past branch managers have never had a problem with that. They all
Yeah.
comply. And she said, okay, well, let's try it again, and I'll make a note on the account, and then come December, is it
Yeah,
December?
December.
December. When we go to wire out again, we'll see if it pops up, and if not, then she'll rip some new ones. But just keep that in mind, I guess, that if you bank with Banner, you'll probably see it pop up. You may get a message, but then Karen's going to automatically remove it from the options. So I will get you
That
her.
is scary because you can transfer the money out of there
It
yourself.
is,
If
yeah,
somebody hacks your account, they've
yeah,
got access to everything. So
yeah,
that would be all of us.
yeah, that's a lot of liability.
It is.
Yeah, it's not cool. So hopefully Karen's gonna take care of that. Like I said, she sits on a board too and had hers removed. So I'm positive that she can do it for us. So we're gonna kind of watch that and see how that goes. It would be much better than having to switch accounts, because that would be horribly, yeah, I meant bank, sorry. That'd be time consuming and horrible. Any new
I can't
business?
keep track of the accounts I have. Why would I want one more? Other money on my wall.
This one has
that's
a
all.
lot of money in it though.
Well,
Maybe he
good
does,
money
he's
on
got
mine,
several
too.
accounts.
Yeah, you never know. Any other new business? If not, let's move on to Ted.
Oh,
Hold on, for Ted, I do have pieces. Okay, so when we get people to sign up for the gazebos, do the girls in the office, are they the ones that go down and write their names on there and such?
Yeah.
Okay, that isn't always happening.
Really?
Yeah, so we had a group that had reserved, I believe.
Marker 40.
Marker 40, and they did not, there's a group in there and their name wasn't up there or anything. And then that led to the phone calls that didn't go through and stuff, so it was a
Oh,
big
geez.
mess. Yeah,
When was that? This weekend?
no, it was a while back. Do you remember what did we talk about that?
It was tell you, it was my reservation. It was my husband's reservation.
It was your
Husband
reservation, and
contacted
somebody
me.
was already in it?
I had to kick them out. I had to personally kick them out.
Well, you're a park employee.
That's awkward.
No, I
Sorry.
It was very awkward.
I
it was
didn't
the
know they didn't
17th.
write it on. That-
It was
that
July
is-
17th. Yeah.
Yeah, they are supposed to be doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, every day that there's reservation.
The other complaint I got was our bathrooms aren't always getting cleaned
Down there?
anywhere.
Really?
I would say it's more this one. Because, probably that one, but because it was your husband that told me
It was
about
my
this.
husband, yes.
He said,
Marker 40?
There was poop stained or like smeared on the men's rail that was crusty. And
Ew.
it wasn't something that had just been put there. It was like it had been there for a couple of days.
Really?
And he went down the next day to check it and see if it had been cleaned. It was still there that Sunday
Why
afternoon.
doesn't somebody say something to me? Because I don't go down there all the time and look, you know?
I was
in the
trying to
bathroom.
stay out of it. That's the
Of
only
course.
reason I
Yeah.
didn't say
yeah, he was
anything.
talking
Because
to
my
me.
husband was talking to him and I was trying to stay out of it.
No, I mean, that shouldn't be that way.
It was hot during that time frame. It probably could have dried within hours.
And the other thing, we are short
Just
staffed,
saying,
but that's
but
still no
that's
excuse
gross
not
that
to
it sat
clean
there
the
overnight.
bathroom. That is irrigation and bathroom cleaning, are our number one priority. So for not to be clean, it's not good. So.
Okay.
All right, thanks for telling me.
That-
All right.
That's
No,
all.
I need to know this.
Yeah, I know you do.
So I got a couple things. I don't know if they're old business, new business. But it's kind of old.
Wouldn't you find
What's our update, Ted, on the John Deere? That was back, our new implement that got back? Do we have any update?
Yes, now we bought the John Deere, it's called a Pro Gator, it's like a cart that'll hold 3,000 pounds as a payload. And we had it for one day, or actually, 1 day, 2 nights, and they had to come and get it because it wouldn't start, so the company came and got it, they're out of Portland. And we're working on it, and they thought it was this or thought it was that, and then they decided finally, after a month of thinking around on it, it needs a new engine. Okay. So, they've ordered a new engine, but it won't come until the end of October. And I told them, why don't you just get us a new Gator, which I asked them first time, just give us another one. And it seems like they don't want to do that, but
Of course not.
yeah. But, I just talked to them 2 days ago about it. And it is paid for. So it doesn't look like we'll have it at all this summer.
Okay, I just want,
Even if we get a new one, it's going to take time. So,
other thing I had, when I first came on, I talked to both of you guys, and one thing you guys talked about was a maintenance person,
yeah,
the need for that. I know we have it in our budget. Where are we at with that?
well, right now, we haven't gone forward with it. I was looking at probably going out later or first of next year to advertise for it and hire somebody for that. So I think we're doing okay this year.
So you want to advertise it the 1st of January, or do we want to try
Maybe-
to hire 1st of January?
Well, no, I think advertise maybe in December, hope to hire somebody by February.
When do you really start rocking and rolling on your, getting everything ready for
Usually
spring?
around first part of March. Okay, we start turning on irrigation, the very early March, and we go through it, and that's when things start really getting busy, so.
So you're talking about a maintenance person that would be doing,
Like a park maintenance supervisor, okay, that would be full-time, permanent, that's professional and knows how to do some things. And also that person is going to need to learn the pool mechanicals as well. So they're going to be working, in the pool and here. So they're gonna have to be pretty well-rounded, they're going to need you know, training obviously for, you know, some stuff, but we do want to have a professional.
If we have that in the budget,
Yes,
Yes.
we did budget for it, for this.
I think it was
year.
approved, that position already.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to do that. And it's difficult to get staff now. I mean, we can get people to agree to come to an interview, but never show up. We've had to fire, we had a gal that worked here 4 days, and we had to let her go. Guy worked here who was actually knew his way around the parks and did well, and he just decided he didn't want to work here anymore. He didn't give me a reason why he quit, so.
Would it be wise for us to advertise it early, knowing that we may go through a couple people before we get the right person?
Ted's gone in January. We don't want to hire anybody while he's gone. You're thinking like the end of this year?
I'm thinking sooner than later, and that way, if they end up not being the right person, we still got, I'm worried that if we do it in January or February, and they don't have the right person, then they come for 2 weeks and then they
Right.
just, then we're that much farther behind training.
Right, I mean, we can do it. You know, we could do it at any time. Which would be fine.
And then we may hire somebody that we decide, or you decide in a month, this isn't gonna quite work out.
Right, that happened.
And that gives us, if we do it earlier, we got a little bit more flexibility
Right,
and finding the right person and getting everything.
right. We can do it, you know, early fall, you know, start advertising or even advertising. in
But it may-
December.
Take a while to get somebody.
It might, you know, the job market is tight. I mean, as far as employees.
Are you're gonna keep them all year round?
Yes. Because if you want people with knowledge, you know, you have to have them a full-time job. You know, right now, like most of my employees, well, not most, but a quarter of my employees down here are just part-time, you know, senior citizens that, you know, are just working, just something to do. And they're really good. I don't need to do anything with them. They can manage themselves, but I have two boys that are 18 years old and, you know, need to be watched a lot and trained how to do everything.
I was just wondering what, like, because I don't know, we don't know what you do during December and January. So I'm
Well,
just
it's
curious
not-
what we have here to do.
Yeah, there's maintenance work on the equipment and, you know, different little projects we can do in the restrooms.
That'd be a good time if they
Yeah,
could get boned up on the pool.
On the pool, yeah.
yeah. And, you know, if it snows, we spend a lot of time plowing the roads, and we have to, you know, all our sites that are winterized, we have to go every single day when it's freezing, check to make sure they're not frozen out. And, you know, there's enough to keep somebody busy, not super busy, but busy. And if we have, you know, some different projects to work on, that helps a lot. So it's like this winter, we did that disc golf, and that kept a couple guys busy for a while. You know, it's gonna be a time when we're gonna need a lot more professional staff, you know, maintenance staff. You know, and that might mean, you know, a couple maintenance guys in the winter time that may not have a lot to do down here, but if they're involved in the pool, there are things there that can be done as well. So I think we're getting really close to that time.
Along that line of the new business. Oh, I'm sorry, you go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Were
No,
you done?
I just wanted to throw that out there. But at the end of the day, Ted's gotta do what Ted's gotta do.
So we did used to have a Well, Gino's our maintenance supervisor, but he's only part-time as well, you know. But there was a time when we did have a full-time park maintenance supervisor that worked year-round, you know, 8 hours a day and what have you. But, you know, he left and we were able to get through the next 2 decades. You know, without him, but right now, I think it's time to look at, you know, professional help that actually knows stuff that we don't have to train to do everything. You know, not some young kid, but you know, somebody that's like a seasoned.
You wanna find a good vet that's, you know, retired from the military. that-
Oh, yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
You know, you senior citizens, retired people are the best workers. You know, they have a work ethic, and they work hard, you know, but their longevity sometimes may not be as long as we want, but if they're a young senior, you know, they can last another 10 years, which would be
Well, how long does Bingo have till he retires?
25 years or 20 years, I think. He's in his, you know, he might be,
He's in his
my
50s.
age.
He's in his 50s.
Yeah, he's my
is
age.
he 50?
Yeah.
He's aging well.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing Bingo does though for us is mow.
Just mow right
Yeah,
now.
that's all he's,
But I mean, he's been a loyal, he's been working here for
Years.
Yeah. 20
decades.
years.
We're at decades now.
See, he would work good if we could pay him more than what the school district paid.
Oh, well, he ain't gonna quit. He's gonna retire first. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he will.
But you could put that in the description in terms of like looking for these qualities of the person first, and that could help. Because those people are like, hey, that's me.
Yeah.
And they can, even if they have general knowledge of something, we're gonna have to train them on the pool stuff anyways, regardless, because that's almost a specialty for
Yeah,
my, holy moly.
it is. It is.
You don't just hit a button and everything happens.
I wish. Hit a button, and everything goes apart.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta- it
Get
goes
a
off.
button, take them apart, put them back together.
What do you think in salary wise, just out of curiosity?
Well, up to 50,000.
Yeah.
And, but it depends, you know, it depends if there's somebody really good. You know, if they were able to go through their probationary period, you know, we could pay more, if that's what it's gonna incentivize somebody to stay, you know, stay and work here.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay. No, that's a decent wage for a maintenance person. I think that's great.
yeah. And it's, you know, I've looked at ads with the Oregon Recreation and Parks Association, you know, that's comparable to, you know, other park maintenance supervisor positions, so.
Yeah, no, that's good.
It's unique, because most maintenance people are stuck inside.
Yeah.
You know, down at Lamb West, so if you can find somebody that really wants to be outside.
Yeah. I think there are people in this town that can do the work. You
Mhm.
know, I've had park aides, you know, could do great here, you know, but it was seasonal work and then they move on.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, did you still have?
No,
Okay, did, for Norma and John, well, and I guess George too, so that it concerns me that, you know, that I get Shelby's point of view because she didn't want to say anything, and, but I feel like if we have, knowledge of something like the bathrooms being disgusting like that we really should probably email Ted right away and say, hey, can you get somebody to go clean those bathrooms? They look disgusting.
do you want us to contact you, or do you want the person that brings it to our attention to contact you?
Brings up a good point of the complaint ladder, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't
it just
mind,
depends on the type of complaint.
There was something approved by the board on how that goes.
We did.
Okay,
So
I mean,
if
you
the
could
public
text-
has complaints.
you can text me, is a good way to do it, just,
You want us to?
yeah, I
Okay.
don't mind you doing that. Otherwise I won't know. Unless I'm working, if I'm working that day and I do inspections actually every day, but not always, go in the bathrooms and look. I don't look at them every day. But like on a weekend, no, I don't see them at all. And if they're not being taken care of,
Right.
if you're texting me, I can call my staff and say, get over there and clean the bathroom.
So I guess that, like what Scott was saying, like we have a protocol in place. So if a person from the public is making a complaint, or if they want to talk and they want to make a complaint against something or someone in our facilities, then we have a ladder, the people go to Scott first, or they go to people under Scott first, and then they go to Scott, and then if it doesn't get resolved in a certain amount of time, they can go to Ted, and then after Ted, it comes to the board. So that we're not being hit with the general public's, first response. It should be coming from them since they're the managers. What I was saying is that if there's something that's simple like that, a maintenance thing that he wouldn't have known about, obviously, be way better than having a camper see it or a visitor see it, then, you know what I mean, just to let him know
Give 'em a
and
heads up, yeah.
not feel like, yeah, Shelby can't say something just because she works here, I think that, feel free to speak up and just mention it to him. And that would avoid the possibility of any kind of a newcomer to Boardman seeing something like that. Obviously, if it's a work complaint, then we do have to follow our protocols and go through the steps, but I don't even think I have your cell phone number, Ted. I don't even know that I would be able to get a hold of you.
I think I texted it to you.
Did you?
Asked me for it.
I did. I don't know if I put it in here or not.
I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Huh?
Is there an emergency phone number any of the campers can call, or is that something that's available to them?
Well, the emergency is talk to our camp host. If there's no one around, because they are here all the time. And there is I think there's a little, what do you call it, thing that's a button you can push on the side of the booth that will ring one of the phones.
It's a ring button.
Yeah, that goes directly to Imelda's phone. If somebody needs to do it, but other than that, it's just a matter of calling the park's number. And normally I get messages, from campers, but they're never an emergency really. It's more about, just simple things that they're complaining about this or that, or, or where's my campsite or things like that, that they can really figure out on their own. But, the camp host is always there that people can talk to. But as far as, like an emergency number, we don't have an after hours number other than the park.
Okay.
I found you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So does anybody else want Ted's number? We're not gonna bug him on a personal level. It would just be for if something like that was to come up, or that he wouldn't have known about.
I can text it to everybody. That way I guess Norma's the only one that's on here.
And
Yeah.
Norma has my number already.
Yeah.
I've
So
got
I
it.
talked to her once
Do
in
you
a
need
while.
it, John?
I always call Ted. I feel like I bug him too much.
So Ted is 541 561 6129. And then the park office number is 481 7217.
Call it right now, see what answers. It won't go through.
It won't go through yet.
What do you say the last four for the park office were?
7217, 481, 7217. And did you get Ted's cell?
I already have it.
Oh, you already have it. Okay.
What's the rec center number, Scott?
616-1050.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you the landlines. Yeah,
What
I
is
don't know if
it?
it'll do any good.
616-1050.
050. You need to leave a message on its extension too. Cell phone, much better.
Do you want yours out there? 'Cause
Pardon
yours
me?
is personal, isn't it? Isn't
No,
this
it
your
works.
personal cell phone?
No, it's,
The
I think everyone has it anyway.
371-3004?
yeah, 300.
That's the park phone for you?
Yes, work.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So John, Scott's cell phone number, Scott Green,
Yep.
is 371, so 541-371-3004. And you'll get stuff for him. Scott. Sometimes. Some of the calls I. So-and-so's complaining. There is always somebody complaining.
Yeah, and I would suggest like complaints about bathroom, whatever, just give me a text.
Yeah, I didn't know about the bathroom till last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ted, did you want to go over your manager's report?
I can. Okay, on July 3rd, we had the busy day with the kids soccer tournament. I think it went pretty well. Kids played most of the day and we had many vendors down there and several bouncy houses and water slides. And I think everything went good and Luis Campos made sure that they cleaned up afterwards. So he did a good job.
Did he?
Yes, he
Good,
did. Yeah, he was very self-conscious about that.
good.
So there was no cleanup the next day. Okay, on July 4th, the day wasn't really that busy, for July 4th. There's, people down there picnicking and what have you. There was supposed to be a baseball tournament there. They didn't do that. But come about 6, 7 o'clock at night, a lot of people started coming in for the fireworks and.
Those
it
fireworks
was-
were amazing.
Yeah,
They
there
were
was,
good.
awesome.
yeah, there was a lot of people here. Probably several thousand, I imagine.
In the marina?
It was
Yeah,
packed.
down
Because
there.
people
was-
kept telling me that the marina was closed and I was like.
Yeah, it was close because you couldn't get in here.
I
There's
was
too many
just like,
people.
what are you
Did you go
talking
down?
about?
No, I could see from my house.
Oh,
So
they were
it's- I was watching
He
those
lives right
guys.
here
I
on
was watching
Columbia.
those guys trying to leave and honking at each other. I'm just shaking my head.
Yeah,
It's
because you didn't have law
worth the wait.
enforcement down
It's
here
awful.
directing
Were
traffic.
you here?
I was waiting.
No, it was a conference.
Oh,
Chief said, do not.
Yeah, but it was fine. They got out. I think it took them over an hour to get out, maybe a little longer.
Now, why
They were-
wouldn't we direct traffic? It would-
Couldn't tell you that one. You have to ask chief.
No,
that.
no offense though, it was just fine. I was in that whole mix, parked clear down there by the basketball court and everybody was courteous. They were nice.
How does
Everybody
that work?
got out.
Like at the Toyota Center
It's fine.
and they have a
Nobody
big
kills
concert
anybody.
and they have police, do they request that organization request? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, it's all contracted out like that to do,
The
Oh,
chief
so
said,
they would pay,
not necessarily pay, but it would be just like when we do the parades and stuff, there's paperwork to fill out to make sure there's coverage and stuff. So, but the way it was scheduled, there wasn't, didn't have.
he didn't have
people that-
enough staff, he said.
well, you would need,
He didn't make plans to have the staff.
Right.
Well, but that kind of all came together pretty late too.
It did.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, but we knew we had the fireworks. We knew the fireworks were gonna be here. I
It
don't know.
was fine. Nobody
It wasn't
killed
an issue.
anybody. It was all right.
I just don't, when I first started, I was a reserve, and that was my first experience of helping people directing traffic. I've always thought that was a cool.
So
thing
you
to
were
do.
down here?
I
Was
was.
everybody stopping right here?
Yeah, it was
Okay,
funny.
good, good, good. I don't want George to
Well, I
get
did.
excited again.
Well, when we come down, we black that out. We
Yeah,
just
they
let
was-
people go through.
Yeah. no
You can't
stopping.
let George sit there because he sees everybody running the stop sign when we're having a meeting and he gets a little antsy.
The locals ran it because we
Yeah.
all know that how it goes, but you could tell there were other people that they would do their diligent stop but they were all nice. It worked just fine without the police. No big deal. I'm just glad to see that we had it, number one, and that Luis cleaned up his garbage.
Yeah, I think it was 28-minute show. It's pretty good.
Okay, and on the 9th and 10th, we had a walleye derby here. There were 39 teams competing. And there was about $10,000 in prize money. And it went off pretty good. I wasn't here and all for that. But from what I hear, it was pretty good.
Do they still fill up your dumpster with fish?
Not the walleye people, they don't keep fish, they have to let them go.
Most fishing
Gotcha.
tournaments are catch and release.
What was that other one that did that?
That was a carp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bow fishing.
Yeah, that was a different story.
Okay. These people were good though.
Yeah, they always are, they're always good. I wish they'd give me
But they
the
did-
walleye.
They didn't use the board.
No, I know, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Want some walleye?
I love walleye. That's the
Yeah, I'm
best
going
one.
tomorrow, so if I have a good day, I'll drop you off some. If I don't have a very good day, the wife will make me take it all home.
Okay.
You be home tomorrow? What is
Yeah,
tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I have a meeting at noon, but other than that.
I forgot about this meeting until my wife texted me and said, hey, you got that meeting tonight?
Love you
Okay,
all.
on July 13th, some Good Sam representatives came to the park to inspect it and to actually sell us advertising in the Trailer Life magazine, which we have been doing for many, many years. We're probably one of the only government agencies that is allowed to do that because we were grandfathered in. And they don't let government agencies advertise in the Trailer Life. You can have your little blurb in there where you're at, but as far as ad, you don't get that. So,
How's their prices? Have they gone up now?
They go up every year.
yeah, so we went in with an enhanced advertisement. So we're in more online platforms and more enhanced more enhanced advertising on those platforms. It's not, you kind of think we're full every night. Do we really need advertising? But one of the reasons why we are is because of that advertising early on, and it brought quite a few people in.
Well, and then the enhancement part they're gonna do is they're gonna help us during the winter months, try and get more people down here during the winter months too.
Question, Ted, on those 39 fishing teams, how many of them stayed in a normal fishing tournament?
Well, I know we had our overflow area all full with those guys. And I'm not sure about the rest of the campground. They don't say whether they're in the derby or not. Okay, I don't know if you guys know, but the city of Boardman is building a new dog park on Front Street. That's just east of the city soccer field. There will be several dog obstacles or exercises or whatever there. And we have some extra trees that we're going to donate to put in there when the grass gets a little bit more established. And I don't imagine the park will be ready until maybe next year. You know, the grass will have to get established before you let a lot of dogs run in there because they will tear it up. So, and I am assuming that the city's going to want us to maintain it. I know the city maintenance guys keep telling us, you guys are doing it, because they don't want to do it. So, but we will have to rework our contract with them. for maintaining their parks.
Ted, has there been any talk to you about actually having us take over property ownership of all the parks in the city? Has that been talked about with you at all?
No,
The reason I'm talking about that is because with the new laws coming in, any government city park, homeless people can have full reign on them.
no, I remember
Oh.
that.
I read that.
Yeah,
Yes.
but if it comes to us, to the rec
We can't.
department, then we can regulate that no homeless can stay in there overnight.
Well, that'd be good, as long as the city would, give us money every month to maintain them, because that would be the drawback, is that. we
We'd
don't
lose
get
that,
paid for it,
yeah.
so,
I read that bill.
I would guess that they'd be highly motivated to
They would,
pay
Mhm.
that money.
they would.
Interesting.
Okay, and then tomorrow I have, the Corps of Engineers is coming for their yearly inspection of the park. And so what we'll do is we'll walk around, and we'll show them, what's going on here, and they'll, if they see something they don't like, they'll write us up and tell us to get, take care of the problem. So I'm going to talk to the main guy about the campground expansion, that we really need to start working on that seriously, because they're not serious at all.
Can you ask him about our inland development thing then as well? then?
Yeah, I will ask about the fiber optic as well. I know he's gonna make me write up, a report on that, which I always do, to get it done. And sometimes you think, well, I can't say what I want to say, as long as we're being recorded in a public meeting, but.
I know,
asking
that's
for
really
forgiveness
annoying.
Sometimes it's better.
It works great. for
I
me
just
to go
hope they
back
don't
and
hold
read
it
minutes,
up.
though. I know.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that's all I have.
So back on your soccer tournament that we had approved, how many people do you think we ended up with? Because remember, we were worried about how many people would end up coming to that. Was it a large crowd that came to that?
On the
soccer?
third,
Uh-huh.
I believe so. I didn't really go down there.
I came down.
Was it a
Yeah,
large crowd?
Yeah, you had like, Norman, do you remember how many teams, first of all?
On the July 3rd one?
I think he had, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna say 8 adult teams, or 8 to 12 adult teams, and then I think it was 4 youth teams.
So,
Oh,
and all the family
nice.
members, and then the vendors there was some good food.
That's
Yeah.
great. And he ended up getting all of his, like we had asked him to provide proof of his licenses and all that
Yeah,
for,
he got insurance.
like,
So
the-
he was good, yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Good
he
for
went-
him.
I think he worked full-time on this after work. He would work on this full-time. And he put in a lot of effort,
Good for him.
and he did a good job.
Yeah.
You know,
That's neat. One thing, back on the inland thing, it says that the trenching is in the conduit installation is included for the rec center, but up above, they don't make any reference of the trenching and conduit for the Boardman Marina office. So will you just
We'll
make
have to
sure,
get clarification on that.
yeah, we just make sure that's in there, please.
They did mention, oh, wait a minute, that was the other one. That mentioned about doing all the permitting for that, right? Did one
That
way
was
the same?
LS Networks.
Okay,
But that was, the permitting was to go underneath the railroad,
oh, I thought,
whereas
okay,
Windwave doesn't have to.
that's true, all right.
So,
Yeah, just make sure he has that included.
okay.
Did you get that invoice from
Yes.
Molly? So where Ted ordered a new table, which is great, right? Bigger table, but the lady ordered it from, she sent a weird way of doing it. I just want to make sure we saw that it was 12-foot walnut. Nice. Okay.
Forklift.
Is it made out to Molly or is it to her business? Does she
Says
say?
Molly at top.
Does it? Okay.
Mhm.
Ray Creek Design.
Yeah.
Molly
I was just
Ray.
wondering why she didn't have it made out to her company and she had it made out personally. That's why I thought it was weird.
Well, it's her business.
She
Ray
may
Creek
not have a
Design.
business account set up.
Maybe, yeah. All right, Scott.
Okay, I'm just gonna highlight some things here. So, Fantastic Kids has ended. Tomorrow, they're actually going to Silverwood, early in the morning. 2 buses. One will be picking up the kids from Marion. One will be picking up the kids from Boardman. About 65 total going on this trip. So I have 4 adults going to chaperone, 2 for each bus. So, which have been the kind of the seasonal directors that have been down there all summer long. So,
Nice.
actually, one of them can't go, so Tessa's going. We do straws. So,
Dang, what did we
yeah,
want?
yeah. I just said I don't want to go. So anyway, that's happening. It dwindled. It's like every year. I mean, it was a good program. We had a lot of kids. We primed for a lot of staff just because of the numbers. When you look at the original signups with 350 for Fantastic Kids and another 50 for Teen Summer, that's 400 kids. That's a lot. And in the beginning, we had to actually separate them. No more than 30 in a group type of deal. And so that all changed after the program started when they lifted them some of the mandates. But I think it went really well. This has been an interesting year, just as far as that group that we've had there, and it's been great partnership with the school district. But it's also helped us run a lot of swim lessons too. We put a lot of people through swim lessons, and they're still happening. We're doing back-to-back swim lessons. We are going to end on the 12th. There was one thing that we did talk with the school district about was try not to interfere with too many programs during summer school. So we were trying to get that all wrapped up before summer school started. And we will have some programs, but we'll be advising people that they won't get funding from the school district if they're skipping summer school to do a program. So they know that on themselves. I would say that right now, the biggest challenge we have, and it's a challenge everywhere, is finding adequate staffing. And it's been difficult and it's getting harder. We have a couple, 2 or 3 that are leaving to move on at the end of the summer here, actually just coming up in a few weeks. And I've had to let a few go lately too, just because of they needed to go. Yeah, I'll put it that way. And so we're down to about, kind of this morning, we're down to about 9 or 10. One actually, a 9, 10 we'll have soon, but just finalizing some training for that person, but it's not enough. We got swim lessons covered, utilizing some just swim instructors, not lifeguards, to do that, which we brought on and trained. So that helps. Otherwise, we'd be hurting there too. But we are in dire need of more lifeguards. So, and I don't know how it's going to look when the school year starts exactly. So we're looking at that, trying to find out who's available in the morning before school, if any, and of course after school. So it's difficult. And I mentioned before, this is nationwide. This is a problem everywhere. So I know a couple months ago, talking to somebody in Portland, they were saying they were 900 short of lifeguards in Portland.
Wow.
Yeah, Hermanson was 50 short. It's been horrible. Hopefully after September, things might change with that, but we'll see. Private lessons going strong. I kind of put a hold on signing up anymore because we're trying to get the people's through, listen up that list, otherwise that whole list would be out for a long period of time, so. We're letting people know that, and we're trying to wrap up and getting that list down right now for that. The recreational swim club, it ends on August 12th as well, and that's been a good program. The kids have enjoyed that.
Who's running that now?
For us, our pool manager.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and that's something that's being also paid from the school district. But yeah, no, she has taken that on herself and is running that program. Fitness classes. Actually, yeah, fitness classes still going a little low on a couple that has been pretty much off and on all the time. Did have somebody approach about doing a boot camp. I've responded, but haven't heard back, so possibly have some opportunity. I know that BCDA mentioned last meeting that they would be interested in funding additional programs if we had a need to. So keeping that in mind, trying to find new programs. Our parent-child aquatics class will be beginning here on August 3rd, and it's just trying to get them early age, trying to get them ready for water, getting ready for pre-class. It's something that's been asked for, so we're gonna see how that goes. Let's see what else. So I did contact, this was budgeted for this, did contact once July hit with, I actually did a lot of research trying to find out who works on gym equipment, who is really authorized to do that, because I originally contacted the folks who supplied this equipment, which is in Arizona. They were not interested in coming up. So, yeah, figure that one. And so I reached out to Hermiston, to Larry there at the school district, and he said he's got a couple of in-house people. So I continued looking, and lo and behold, Columbia Fitness works on quite a few gyms up in Washington. So contacted them. They did send a couple people down to do an evaluation on our cables and our motors that haven't really been checked that well for years. It needed to be done. So not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We have a cable that's starting to fray. We have a couple of welds broken on a couple of not a safety issue yet, but they're going to address that. And some the motors seem to be pretty good. One of them is making some noise at the divider curtain. So they are right now looking into the manufacturer, because sometimes there's additional warranties that we don't even know about on these. So, and then they'll get back to us with a quote on what they can do. So. Pre-maintenance though.
What's the deal with didn't we pass something to do lighting? We were fixing our lighting. Did that all get done?
The parking lot lighting, it has not got done yet.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. The last time I spoke to the electrician about the parking lot lighting was probably a month ago. And he was still waiting on the manufacturer, not of those lights, but of the base that he needed to weld onto those poles, to get it done. I think they made one and sent it to him to make sure that it worked, and it didn't. So they had to remake them again, remake it. So I don't know. I'll call him tomorrow and find out.
Well, just whatever. Sometime before the next meeting, maybe check in on it, and
Yeah,
we paid for it already, didn't we?
no,
Oh, okay.
but it's been a long time, since we've been doing this, almost a year now,
Yeah.
actually more than a year. So, but
Did
the
we,
original manufacturer of those lights is out of business because
Yeah.
they were crappy lights to begin with.
Oh, they're horrible. And they're worse now, because
when did we budget?
whenever the wind blows, we've had them come out. We've had the electrician come out with a lift, straighten up those poles
Oh, geez.
many times, and it costs us, but when the wind blows too hard, they turn, right? So they're not even getting the solar, half of them.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
When did we budget that money to fix those? It was in last year's budget,
Yeah,
right?
last year.
It is in last, yeah.
I think we
But
have.
we still have room in our
this
capital
year,
outlay for this year.
okay,
Yeah,
even with our 35.
yeah, we have quite a bit in capital outlay.
Oh, you're gonna spend some dough.
Yeah, well, it's less than 20,000.
Oh.
I think.
Needs to be done though.
Yeah. 'cause
So
our-
it's still
our-
dark at the entrance and all that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I guess we don't really notice it right now. It's more in the winter time, don't we? We
Exactly.
notice it.
Yeah, usually I put up reflectors just to come in for folks.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, in the wintertime. So,
So, and then the likelihood of ever partnering with the schools for a swim class is like down the future, obviously, right, down the road in the future, like, have they exited that, do you think? Have we approached it?
we have talked about further partnering. The original meeting I had on Aragon with them, talking about not only continue this partnership as possible, but this year is going to be different than any other year because they receive funding to be able to do
Right.
youth programs from Monroe County. I don't foresee that happening year after year. I really don't. However, I did put a bug in the air about other types of partnerships with, I'm in a PE class, swim PE class to lifeguard training that we can train.
So,
Whatever we can do to,
gosh, how long ago would it have been? It was a long time ago. Ashley would have been 7th grade, prior to, so FFA, right? They didn't have Boardman didn't have their own chapter. They didn't have enough kids, they didn't have enough money, so they called it a Morrow County. Was, their jacket said Morrow on it, but it was a county-wide little program they had going on, because there wasn't enough kids and not enough money, enough funding, and I wondered if the school district ever wanted to have a swim team, our facility is really the only place they could possibly do that.
it
If it was a district-wide team, I
It'd
guess,
be
and
North
not a
Morrow,
school.
because
Yeah.
that's what they said, was North Morrow.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Abner had their own FFA,
Yeah,
and that was because when they split,
right.
they got to have the FFA part of it at Aragon, so our kids would go over there. And so that'd be a thing, it'd be
You would have one of the schools would be the host, so like, it would be Riverside, you could say Riverside, Irrigan. But you wouldn't have a Morrow County swim team.
it'd be North Morrow, they would call it just like they did with the FFA, it was North
I
Morrow.
don't think that would say,
Then they'd exclude the kids from Hefner who don't have the ability to swim in the,
no,
winter
but
time.
then what they would do is do a co-op between the three
Yeah.
schools.
oh, right,
Then they wouldn't name it Morrow County.
Right, right.
Name it whoever the host school was, and the other two would add.
gotcha. I was just curious if we'd ever approached that with the district to know if any kids were interested in even starting a program like that, and that was connected to the school and the school's insurance and the busing to events and things like that. If they wanted an actual program or not.
well, if just give me a moment, just so you're aware that I think that would be great. However, so the difference between a summer swim club and a school swim club is the length of your pool.
Oh,
So
right.
the summer swim club swims in 25 meters or 50 meters.
Right,
High school is 25 yards.
right.
So if you have a full-size
I forgot
pool,
about that.
they swim crosswise, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of times you'll see lane lines going this way and this way. But that's a minimum of 6 lanes for a sanctioned meet, minimum of 6 lanes. We only have 4 lanes.
Right.
They could practice here, but
They
they
could
never
never
ever meet here.
host, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that, which is why the swim team for Hermiston comes here to practice, but they can't.
Great facility to practice in though.
Right, okay. Do we have any other business? Any other concerns?
How's it going with Tessa trying to work with the sport teams?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
How is Tessa doing with working with the sport teams? Helping out with registration, such, like those kind of things. Well,
Is Tessa in charge of that? Did we put?
We
did-
never, ever finished that.
Yeah,
okay, then that's one thing we gotta get done. We've gotta get, so the rec center is the contact where people can go and have one place. I mean, I thought that's where we were going with all that before.
It ended when Josh left and
Yeah.
I never even received that information from him. And I know that we talked, in fact, that
We
time
did
we even
those
budgeted for a
surveys.
person to help with that. If you recall that at all, we budgeted for a coordinator for that,
Right,
yeah, but it never was released.
so, all right, oh,
yeah.
So can we put it where we can continue talking about that in the future?
yeah,
And then try to plan out something or get some research done of like,
Who has the surveys? The public surveys that were done?
Josh would still have those, I would imagine,
Do you have the ability to get those from him?
possibly.
you know,
Gotta
Do
give
we
him a
have it in
text
our
and call.
budget
So
to
we
pay
did
for
a-
that
He did
this
a,
year?
like a community, like
have-
leader survey thing.
Yeah.
Part-time
So I
recreation
don't
assistants,
know whatever,
but no
No,
full-time.
I never
person for that.
received anything.
yeah. I was kind of curious to know what people did want.
Well,
Yeah.
Josh gave a quick
Yeah, he's,
summary of what people were wanting, and the main, if I remember right, the main thing that they were wanting was a one-stop shop hub for people to come get information, do registrations, and that kind of a thing, but they weren't necessarily pushing for the rec
To
to
coordinate.
coordinate and take it over. It was
correct,
just to cover, help with registration so that they knew where to go.
yeah, and put it
That
onto
kind of
our
thing.
website where people can know
Help
who
with
to
the
contact,
advertising.
when things were getting started up.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really hard, as it's also say as a parent in this town, is people think Facebook is a great place to get information out. It's like the worst place, because if it doesn't come on your feed, you're just
You
not
don't
gonna
see
see it. Like, I had my kids sign up for soccer. I signed her up last week because that was the first time I saw anything about soccer, which is crazy in this town,
Yeah,
right? Like,
Yeah,
but I didn't get a reply. I didn't get a flyer home as a parent, and I'm a school district. I didn't get anything like that. So it's like, okay, so having a place where a central location is just makes sense. I know where I grew up in Newburgh, that your park and rec, that was a place you went to sign up for everything.
Yeah.
Everything, all the way till high school. And it was so easy. Like my parents were, it's dummy proof. You go there, sign the same form, 3 different seasons, 4 different seasons, whatever you're playing.
I think the other thing that is, now that you say that too, was field scheduling.
Yes,
Yeah, who actually has, sign up for a certain time instead of going and
Mhm.
trying to find a spot and then it's full or.
which we do
Monopoly.
have a spot on that on the website. We just haven't set up any policies or procedures to go with it. So we haven't started doing that yet.
well, and they're not our fields.
No,
So
but
we
it's just,
can't-
it's more of just to help coordinate that.
But
Correct, I'm just saying though, that in order for us to coordinate it, we have to have approval from the.
well, that was the
people
thing.
who own it.
The city, so the city owns them, but they've said that they don't want to coordinate or do any of that. And they direct everybody to the park to coordinate that.
So what we need to do then is come up with a list of things that we want Tessa to be responsible for and what we don't want her to be responsible for. So that she understands clearly what her duties would be, because that's,
I would probably think about having some kind of coordinator, or if she becomes the coordinator, and then something, because that's a lot of work.
Her
Right.
title right now is recreation coordinator.
yeah, that is
Okay.
her.
Yeah,
her-
it
I
would
would say it's
fall
just a
under
lot,
her.
that's a lot of work, though. I mean, you're not,
Yes.
that's
Well,
a
but-
lot of teams.
Yeah, but
involved.
if you're working with the leadership of each sports group, and she's working with those people, that's, because they're the ones running that program. That's the thing. And then she's just helping coordinate, okay, this is when we're doing the registrations and all that. We've got the insurance coverage that we cover for all these sports teams as it is through us.
The only ones we don't cover is Little League and soccer.
And then I'll say Little League
They
breaking
can't,
away, yeah.
they can't, they
They
have to have
can't.
their own charter,
If they're gonna
Unless they're
stick with
Boardman.
Little League.
right?
Right.
Which they're gonna be some, I'm the VP on that, so I can already tell you that they're not going, we're gonna go somewhere else, do something else.
So, yeah, you can foresee that coming over too.
Yeah, it's a whole different world with them.
Yeah.
Been involved with that before.
They want to make.
So do I need to add this to next month's
Yep,
meeting?
would you?
Is
I'll
Tessa
get her-
aware of that? That we're going to be putting this on her?
She was aware of that when this all came up
Started with
back last
Josh.
winter.
Okay,
Yes, and I explained everything to her at
okay.
that time.
Is she staying on with us? Do you know? 'Cause she only promised you through the summer rec, right?
She only promised me through that. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it all depends on their family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. We might be looking for a rec coordinator
Right.
as well.
Right, and we do have an open position for an assistant to do more programs, right, which we passed. So actually, I think next week I have Carla,
Yes. you
who
have an
has been,
interview.
yeah, who's gonna interview for that, but that's the other thing, trying to find people that are interested in and qualified.
Exactly.
It's
Mhm.
terrible.
I don't know where our graduates are.
For me,
I don't know where our graduates are.
You know, I think if we tie in with Mrs. Rosen at the high school,
It would be, this would help.
yeah,
a lot.
to, working with getting some of our high schoolers to get down here for some job stuff.
I told every one of my students about all the jobs at the park and at the rec center.
How many?
Two of the ones that I would have never guessed.
Oh, really? Well, the two.
And they
that
worked
work-
out decent, haven't they? Are they still working good for it?
Pablo and Tony? Yeah. they're good.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Yeah,
kids.
Pablo.
I see
Yeah,
them
they
working all the
work
time.
hard. They work hard here.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah, I compliment them all the time I can when I see them,
Yeah.
because they do, I see them down there at the parks a lot, and I'm always trying to talk to them. Because I would never expected those two,
Yeah, we like them. They're good
That's good.
guys. Good work ethic most of the time. Sometimes they don't come to work, but other than that.
and that is what's so frustrating, that whole good work ethic,
Yeah, when I'm helping put.
My hands are
school
tied some
covers
ways
up.
because I can't lose too many people, otherwise pool can't open, right?
right?
But yet, I try to give them a second or third chance, but after a while, I get really frustrated, like, you gotta go find something else.
I showed up at 6 o'clock for swim. And Vanessa is in there, the front table lady, trying to put the things up all by herself. I helped her.
And then I
people
got the
started
call,
trickling in.
yes. Because they just don't show up.
Well,
Then
when
they
you
don't
stay up
call.
till 2 o'clock on your phone and then the alarm goes off at 5, you sleep through it.
Well, yeah, and then when you finally do call, which it's supposed, in-house, since we need to do a policy on this, by the way. We don't have an actual policy, so in-house, because it's so early, I say, you gotta call at least an hour.
Oh.
At least an hour, so we can find somebody. And they call an hour after their shift starts. Oh, yeah, I'm congested, I'm coming in.
These are kids.
All the time. What?
These are kids.
Yeah, because that's, well, yeah,
It's something,
it's
the
just
school
frustrating.
district went to a bonus program. If you don't, like, you have personal days, if you don't take any, you get a bonus. Is there some way?
So we're
they-
supposed to reward them for being a normal employee? Is
You're
that what
expected
you're-
That's
be
where we
there.
live in.
It's bad, I'm.
No, I can't.
That's bad, that's really bad.
It's-
I
don't
know, it's like here, you show up for school all year and you don't have to take your tests.
I mean, the catch of the problem is they don't have to work because the government will take care of it.
So what are you giving the kids at
So
school?
they
when
know
don't miss
that.
it?
I mean, right now, why can nobody get anybody hired? Because they're making more money on unemployment.
I know.
Than they are.
That's why I
you know,
said maybe after
Our
September it will
government
change.
preaches problems. I'm just throwing that out as a potential, and you could form it up any way you want to.
But at the end of the day, that's how they learn too, by maybe getting let go because they're not showing up,
Yep.
or getting that, and that's part of life, right?
Yep.
They have to learn. Some people learn it when they're 16.
Right.
Some people learn it when they're 22, and hopefully you learn it before that, but.
Some people never learn.
And some people don't, but that's the whole goal. I mean, I think that's the conversation I have with many students is my job is to help you become a, more well-rounded person. And sometimes you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna learn from those. Like that's work. So
Right, right.
it's frustrating, but
Yes.
it's what it is.
My whole career has been, hiring summer, like working in parks and like that. And a lot of those people that apply are young kids out of high school. It's sometimes their very first job. So I've always felt, I'm gonna interview, I'm gonna do this right. I want them to get this experience, and I'm gonna help mentor them. That's how I always figured. And you do. And sometimes it work out really great. And sometimes you just don't get it. And, and no matter every time you sit with them, they look, you've got to be able to show up for your shift, or, we're counting on you. After a while, you can't do anything for them. You just gotta say, well, we're done.
And I tell you this, for working with kids for almost 30 years, you can go home and watch their home environment. If the home environment doesn't promote personal responsibility,
I'm aware
I'm
of
not
that.
gonna use my question I would use because we're being recorded, but you're just wasting your time.
I am
I mean,
aware
it's
of
almost
that.
if you could go home, if that was part of the interview process, you could go home and just watch how the house works for 2 hours. You could say, yep, this person's gonna work out. Nope, this person's not. And I can say that because I'm really good at saying, yep, you're gonna make it. Nope, you're not gonna make it.
I do believe.
And
a
some
lot of
kids
this
do
comes from
change
parents.
and figure it out, but if you don't learn personal responsibility when you're young and you're being molded, it's a
Oh,
Yeah, they need my
the best thing
dad.
that happened to my kid was him getting fired. And I think that was the
Yeah.
lesson he learned from getting fired, from falling asleep on the job, has paid off for him 9, 10, 15 times more. So,
But your kid also had a lot of personal responsibility taught to him growing up.
well,
So he just needed that one instance to
Yeah.
kind of jolt him.
Yeah.
Some of these kids, you can jolt them 4,000 times and all you're doing is wasting electricity.
That's true. That's so true. I don't know how you do it, Scott. I'm sorry to wring my child's neck.
oh, your daughter was great.
Yeah, your daughter was good.
She took a half a day off work because her boyfriend broke up with her. Oh my God, George, it was so devastating.
That is mild compared to what we deal with, trust me.
Dude, give me a break.
There'll be 50 more.
Can I
Come
move
on.
that we adjourn?
My second. Oh, can I do that?
No, you
I
can't.
second.
Fine.
Don't even.
Oh, Norma, is it okay if we adjourn?
Yes, please.
Oh, George, how was the West Virginia trip?
It was awesome. Love
Thank
it.
you. Good night, guys.